Considering a visit to the largest national park in America? Home to 9 of the 16 highest mountain peaks in the United States, as well as the spectacular site of a former copper mining boomtown, the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park should be a stop on everyone's list to truly experience Alaska's rugged, one-of-a-kind landscape. Hi, I'm Tiffany from Destination for Vacation. Join me in exploring the amenities of the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge so you can decide for yourself if it should be your gateway to adventure in the Wrangell-St. Elias region. The Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge is located on 200 acres just 4 miles away from the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park's Visitor Center. Positioned perfectly on a bluff to take advantage of outstanding views of the Wrangell-St. Elias mountain range, the lodge is about a 4-hour drive from Anchorage, a 5.5-hour drive from the Denali area, and a 2-hour drive from Valdez. Like the other Princess Lodges, the Copper River Lodge is only open mid-May through mid-September. The lodge, first opened in May of 2002, features 85 guest rooms that are all located within one 2-story building. Plentiful parking is available in one lot with just a short walk to the front door. Those guests who are arriving by bus will be conveniently dropped off at the lodge's entrance. As you enter the lodge, you'll notice a small gift shop to the right, a great room straight ahead, and the registration desk to your immediate left. For us, checking in was a breeze, with immediate service by friendly and knowledgeable staff. At the end of this counter, you'll find the service area for any excursions you'd like to book during your stay. Walking straight past the registration area, you'll reach the focal point of the lodge, the Wrangell Great Room, where you can sit and relax by a wood-burning fire, taking in the majestic mountain and valley views from its 2-story wall of windows. Enjoy a conversation with friends in the comfortable seating areas on the main floor, or, if you'd prefer a little more solitude with your view, venture on upstairs to the mezzanine level. While there, your little ones may enjoy meeting the various animal friends placed around the seating area. Little touches are sprinkled throughout the property to remind guests of this region's famed salmon fishing and rich copper mining history. Tables are available on both floors for those who enjoy card games, and board games and puzzles are available for checkout at the registration area. A piano is placed in the great room so guests can enjoy a little music to accompany the magnificent views. Also near the great room's fireplace, there's a very small selection of books, most of which were likely left by previous visitors. There are 2 restaurants located on the property, right off of the great room. The Whistle Stop Bar and Grill, featuring indoor and outdoor seating, is the only lunch option in the lodge. In this pub-style setting, which opens at noon and closes at 10:30, you can enjoy snacks and entrees with an Alaskan spin, including fish and chips, cheese curds, a salmon BLT, and even a reindeer burger. Guests dining here also have the option of ordering from the main restaurant's menu. The bar offers Alaskan brewed beers and a good variety of wines. In the morning, the Whistle Stop is converted to the Dragonfly Espresso Bar, which opens at 6 a.m. and serves a variety of hot coffees to help you get your day started. We decided to eat dinner at the lodge's other option, the Two Rivers restaurant, which is named for the nearby meeting of the Copper and Clutina Rivers. It's open daily for breakfast and dinner with a focus on Alaskan seafood, such as Bering Sea king crab, Kodiak snow crab, Copper River salmon, and rockfish. A variety of meat options are also available, including reindeer, as well as your more typical steaks and burgers. Breakfast diners might choose blueberry pancakes or a smoked salmon omelet with buttermilk biscuits. Fans of the Anchorage roasted Colati Brothers coffee chain will be pleased to see it offered here as the house coffee. The dining room's atmosphere is casual and it has a wall of windows to admire the great mountain range views. Our service was friendly and efficient. Reservations are recommended, but we had no problems getting the dining time we preferred during our stay. Because of its remote location, there aren't a lot of dining options near this lodge. But as we were exploring the area, we did find a little gem in the small town of Wrangell-St that serves sandwiches and burgers, as well as a variety of entrees. I'm not a huge fan of Reuben sandwiches, but after reading some rave reviews about a small restaurant called Nummies at the Copper Center Lodge, we decided to give the place a try. And boy, am I glad we did, because their version of a Reuben convinced me what all the fuss is about. This sandwich had the perfect combination of juicy, salty, saucy, and savory. This casual restaurant's ingredients are high quality and locally sourced, and they even go so far as to make their own hamburger buns. Indoor and outdoor seating is provided with some interesting decor touches to remind you that you're dining in Alaska. The lodge has since undergone a name change and is currently called the Old Town Copper Center Inn and Restaurant. If you have a car and you're out and about exploring the area, consider stopping by. It's only 3.5 miles from the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge, and trust me, the Reuben sandwich will make you swoon. Nearby, you'll find one of the best opportunities in Alaska to stand beside the elevated 8-foot diameter Trans-Alaska Pipeline, which carries crude oil on an 800-mile journey starting in the Arctic Ocean and ending at Prince William Sound in Valdez. Located just 12 miles south of the town of Copper Center on the Richardson Highway, the pipeline's interpretive center is a quick and easy stop as you're driving to or from your home base at the lodge. Stand below this impressive pipeline and grab some pictures as the crude oil surges through it right above your head on its way to Valdez. When staying at the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge, consider booking an excursion because while the property's setting is certainly picturesque, there aren't a lot of activities to do on site. Many people visiting the lodge are doing so because it's right on the doorstep of the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park. It's also a convenient spot to stop for a night for those wanting to visit Valdez, which is about a 2-hour drive to the south. We chose to stay here as a 2-day resting point between our drive from Denali to the old copper mining town of Kennecott. Be forewarned that the mosquitoes are out in full force in this area, so much so that this is sold in the gift shop. We were told by the gift shop attendant that the mosquito is considered the unofficial state bird of Alaska. So while the property has a spacious patio area with gorgeous views, along with some nature trails and outdoor games like horseshoes and shuffleboard, it was pretty rare to see guests outside enjoying them during our stay. If you do want to venture out on a nature walk along the property's trails, prepare yourself and bring mosquito repellent. I even went so far to buy this at a gas station a few miles away because my new best friends were finding all sorts of ways to get a little closer to me. Needless to say, after a few attempts to enjoy the property's grounds, we gave up and limited our outside time at the lodge to simply walking to and from our car. Of course, you may not have the same experience depending on when you visit during the season. If you don't have a car, shuttle service is offered to the nearby Wrangell-St. Elias National Park Visitor Center, which is a quick 10-minute drive from the lodge and certainly worth a visit. Because of the park's size, the visitor's experience may be a little different from what you have experienced at other national parks. While this visitor center is a convenient distance from the lodge, most of the park area is a vast, rugged backcountry wilderness far away from roads and trails. As a result, access to the rest of the park from this visitor center requires flying or at least a 1-hour one-way drive. Some guests of the lodge, not realizing this, will likely end up going to the visitor center and not much else. However, if you don't have your own car, but you do have a full day available in the area and fancy a journey back in time to a location so unique you'll remember it for years to come, then I'd highly recommend taking the Kennecott Explorer Excursion, where you'll be dropped off near the park's second visitor center, which is located in the old mining town of Kennecott, a 3.5-hour drive from the lodge. Granted, the 12.5-hour excursion time is certainly not for the faint of heart. Keep in mind that a little more than half of that time will be spent driving to and from this remote location, which is deep within the Wrangell-St. Elias National Park. But it's a picturesque drive, and once you're there, you'll be immersed in one of the most unique locations you'll probably ever visit in a lifetime, an abandoned copper mining town that has been frozen in time. You'll have 5 hours to explore this National Historic Site, which is currently being restored by the National Park Service. This is a great option if you're taking one of Princess's land tours and don't have your own car. If you are planning on driving during your Alaska trip, then consider making lodging arrangements within the park itself at the Kennecott Glacier Lodge, so you have more time to explore and relax in this one-of-a-kind location. Learn more about this can't-miss destination by watching the Kennecott videos on Destination for Vacations channel. All of the rooms at the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge are located within the main building. There are 2 floors with elevator access provided. The rooms at this lodge are very similar in setup to the rooms in the 2-story units at Princess's Mount McKinley location. Upon entering your room, you'll find a small closet nook with clothes hangers, a shelf, a folding suitcase rack, and a box fan. Nearby is a chest of drawers, along with a single-serve coffee maker with decaf and regular coffee options. Opposite of this nook is the bathroom. The countertop is laminate. Ours was clean, but it's certainly seen better days. It offers plenty of space to store your toiletries, and outlets are provided on both sides of the mirror, which is very convenient. There's a white laminate bathtub shower combination with communal shampoo, conditioner, and body wash dispensers. But don't expect the same brand of products that you typically find on the cruise line. These are of a generic formulation, so consider bringing your own supplies. The shower curtain was well placed to prevent leaks. Similar to our experience at the Mount McKinley Lodge, we found the towels here to be rather thin and skimpy. An illustration of the abandoned mine buildings at Kennecott added a pop of color and interest to the room. Bedrooms are good-sized, and guests have the option of booking a room with 1 king bed or 2 queen beds. We found the mattress at this lodge to be more comfortable than the mattress in our room at the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. However, installing the same Princess luxury bed and the bedding that's found on Princess's cruise ships would greatly enhance the guest experience at all of Princess's wilderness lodges. I would gladly pay a few more dollars each night for this upgrade. Are you with me? Perhaps we should start a petition. A plush, comfortable armchair and a reading lamp are a very welcome addition for those who enjoy relaxing with a good book after an eventful day. Our room also hosted a table with 2 chairs, a flat-screen TV, and a nightstand. A digital alarm clock and a power charging center with plugs and USB charger slots were conveniently provided on the nightstand by the bed. A table lamp, providing a nod to the region's copper mining history, and 2 prints completed our room setup. Similar to a lot of lodgings in Alaska, air conditioning is not provided in the guest rooms, nor is it likely needed given the region's average temperatures during the summer season. Guests can open their window to allow the fresh Alaskan air in, but the room's blackout curtains may block some airflow. To address this, the room also has 2 fans, a box fan stored in the closet nook, and a very small ceiling fan. We maintained a comfortable temperature in our room by opening our window at night and running the ceiling fan. One thing to note while staying here, insulation between the rooms is a bit thin, so you may hear your neighbors. We had a next-door neighbor who enjoyed a fair share of phone calls, and we heard quite a few details about her life during those calls. It's not that we were trying to be nosy neighbors. Her conversations just carried pretty clearly through the wall separating our rooms. So keep that in mind when you're on the phone or even talking to someone in your room. Your conversation may not be as private as you think it is. Fortunately, we had very courteous neighbors, so we weren't disturbed by any noise at night. But if you are sensitive to noise, consider emailing the property ahead of time to request the quietest location possible for your stay. Another request that might be worth making is to be placed in a room on the side of the lodge that views the Wrangell-St. Elias mountain range. We were on the opposite side of the hallway, labeled as, I believe, the wilderness view. It looked out over a grassy field on the parking lot side of the building. While not as spectacular as the mountain view, we had no complaints and actually found this side to be very peaceful. We enjoyed hearing the birds in the late afternoon and early morning. Some of the rooms facing the mountain range may experience a bit more noise from guests walking around the back area, so a view may come with the trade-off if you have your windows open. Complimentary internet access is offered in the great room of the lodge. For your printing needs, guests also have the option to use 2 computers located next to the elevators in the mezzanine level. In this area, you'll also find a small room that hosts the Northern Lights Photo Symphony presentation, which is shown for an additional charge, as well as a self-service laundry room and a vending area with a Coke machine and an ice maker. Another draw to staying at this lodge is the opportunity to run a load or two of laundry as you relax and enjoy the spectacular views. The laundry room has 3 washing machines and 4 dryers, along with the option to purchase laundry detergent if you didn't bring your own. Change machines are conveniently located in the laundry room, so you don't have to make the trek down to the first floor to the front desk. Perhaps you might take the opportunity to mosey on down to the gift shop while you wait for your clothes to dry, as I did. While this property has the smallest gift shop out of any of the 5 Princess Lodges we visited, that doesn't mean you'll walk away with a full wallet. There are plenty of great finds to be had with very attractive displays both in the shop and in the nearby area's display case. From gold nuggets to whalebone sculptures to Alaskan-made fine art and jewelry, you'll be sure to find something unique here to remember your visit to the area by. And as I said in the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge video, when you see something you like, be sure to buy it because you may not see it again at another location. I bought a unique glass globe filled with copper flecks at this gift shop, and I'm glad I did because I never saw it again in another shop during our travels. The Fairbanks location did have a similar globe with gold flakes, but every time I see this copper globe in my living room, I'm brought right back to the Kennecott copper mines, fondly recollecting our explorations of this area and longing to return soon. I was highly impressed with the customer service throughout our stay at the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge. From being warmly greeted by the staff at the guest services desk every time we walked through the front door, to the attentive service at the excursion desk, restaurants, and gift shop, we really enjoyed our interactions with the staff. The gift shop attendant was outstanding, not only packaging up the purchases that we had made in a way that ensured a safe delivery, but her advice also saved us some money in shipping costs as well. The lodge really doesn't have any competition in the area, and it's not a quick drive to get to Wrangell-St. Elias National Park. The daily rates reflect this, as they're typically higher than a stay at the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge, located a short 2-hour drive away from either Anchorage or the Denali area. But it's not as expensive as the Princess Lodges in the more popular destination areas, such as the Denali Princess and the Kenai Princess Lodges. If you're making your own accommodations because you're traveling by car, I'd recommend booking your preferred dates once you've decided on them, but then periodically checking Princess's website to see if the rates have since lowered. Princess has a very generous cancellation policy, so you can feel secure in the knowledge that you've reserved your rooms, but should the rates go down, you can call to request a price adjustment. That's what I did. I booked our hotel reservations about 8 months in advance, and when I saw that Princess was running a special, I called in to request a price adjustment, saving us about $50 per night per room. I could have canceled the rooms and then rebooked, but we didn't have any wiggle room in our itinerary for that week to adjust our schedule, so I didn't want to take any chances with losing the dates that we had. I simply called their reservations line and a very helpful representative made the adjustments. I continued to watch the rates as our trip approached, but they didn't lower any further, so we were good to go. So, is the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge worth a visit? Forgive me, but I'm going to take a cop-out and say it depends. And this answer has nothing to do with the lodge itself. Instead, it stems from its location. If I were on a Princess Land tour, I probably would not stay here, only because its location is very remote, so it takes a lot of travel time to get here. That comes at the expense of seeing more sights in Alaska. At most, you'd probably spend 2 nights here on one of their booked tours. Remember that much of the day leading up to that first night will be spent on the bus just to get here, unless you're coming from Valdez. That only leaves you with 1 full day to explore the park and the surrounding area, and to do that, you're going to need to get on another bus and travel quite some distance to and from the lodge to actually get into the park, because you don't want to just see the visitor center. With that said, I would only book this lodge as part of my Princess Land tour if I were staying at least 2 nights, and I also booked the Kennecott Copper Mine excursion because then you'll actually have the opportunity to get into the park and see some pretty awesome landscapes. But if you have your own transportation, that's a different story. In that case, I would book a room at this lodge again with no hesitation whatsoever. This would be my resting stop for a night or two if I were traveling from Anchorage or Denali to visit Valdez or Kennecott. Because the drive to Kennecott is about 3.5 hours each way and much of this is on a gravel road, I'd overnight at the Copper River Lodge if I was traveling from Anchorage or Denali, and then continue my drive into Kennecott the next day. If I had my own car, I would not stay at the Copper River Lodge to take the excursion to Kennecott, because the travel time there and back eats up too much of your time to explore the park itself. Instead, this would be a rest stop for the night, and then I'd reserve a room at the Kennecott Glacier Lodge or another cabin or inn near to the area, so that I'd have a minimum of a full day to explore the mining area as well as the nearby glaciers. But that's a story for another video. Overall, we found our stay here to be very comfortable, and it allowed us to explore the area at a leisurely pace. We look forward to returning again during our next trip to Alaska. Thanks again for watching. Perhaps you can join me again in one of these videos. Until then, here's hoping that your next adventure is just around the corner.